Good morning. It's now 20 past 6 in the morning and we've just had breakfast. We're in the car park of the Holiday Inn, having had a bit of fun last night where we arrived and were told they had no reservation for us, even though we had the printed out booking, and Claire had phoned the hotel to confirm that it was available. The plan was to move us to another hotel, but after about 10 minutes waiting to get the information on the other hotel, they decided they did have a room after all. So we set the alarm for this morning, 5:15, up, changed, packed, down to breakfast, ready for a 6 o'clock start, and we're now about to set off for the Channel Tunnel. I've got 78%, and based on the schedule that I did last year with the MG4, which I left here with 61%, so we've still got about 17% spare on the MG4, and we'll catch you up as we approach the Channel Tunnel. And unusually it says that the passenger service is only one departure an hour, so there's no chance we're going to get on an earlier crossing. I'm just hoping there's not a build-up from previous ones which would delay us. You're looking at?
Yeah.
Confirming, yes. Pets, confirm we have no pets. Please declare your fuel type is electric, and confirm your pre-booked departure. Press on departure time. Calling in 27 minutes. Next to continue. And we've got our hangar. And we're on our way to the terminal. And we're just about ready to head off to check in through passport control and French customs. We've got our couple of bottles of Malibu. I'm just about to run over somebody in a high-vis vest, and somebody's walking their dog gently behind me. And we're on our way. Interesting thing about Teslas is that they are quite wide, and there have been instances when you go in the normal car side of the Channel Tunnel of getting their wheels caught because the trackway is very narrow. So Channel Tunnel have decided that Teslas have to go in with all the coaches and big vehicles, so we've got to follow the large vehicle route, even though we haven't got anything on the roof, and that costs about an extra £40 more than when we go through as an ordinary vehicle. Lots of building work going on, and we're now crossing the border into France. Okay, stop. It's just 7 o'clock now, and this is passport and security controls. There is no filming at this area, so we're going to stop now and we'll see you on the other side. And alongside us are all the normal cars with your double deckers. So you've got windows down at the bottom and at the top. But we go in the front end of the train, which is just one very tall carriage. And on the right you can just see this door. That's where the cars come out from the car deck. Now they'll shuffle them all forward here to get them really tight together. And as you can see on the width of this, there's loads of room either side, so no risk whatever of getting the car tyres damaged or car wheels damaged. And it looks like we're the last one on. They're closing the doors behind us.
Motor off and handbrake, first gear park for me please.
Thank you. Well, according to this, we've got 40 miles to go to City Europe and we'll be an hour and a quarter and end up with 60%. Right now I'm on 75%. But what Tesla doesn't know is I'm sat on the train, so the first 35 miles of that I'm not going to use any energy. So hopefully we should arrive with a sensible amount. And we'll talk about City Europe shopping when we get there. And we're just starting to move. And here we are in France, where the local time is 9:14. And back in the UK, oh, it just changed. It was 8:15 back in the UK, 9:15 in France. The Tesla hasn't updated yet. The phones have, the smartwatches have, but the Tesla still thinks it's 8:15 in the morning. And once the shutter gets to the top, the side gates open. And it looks like we were waiting for all the little vehicles to drive down either side past us before they let us off. Otherwise we block them. Tesla is now updated with time, and it looks like they've got the satellite working.
Slide left, then turn right. In 500 feet, turn right.
Welcome to sunny France.
Continue on Channel Tunnel for 69 miles.
I don't know where it goes, but there's always this very smart bus parked here. The hybrid electric. And it always seems to be sat there when we come past. No idea where it goes.
In 500 feet, bear right onto Boulevard du Kent.
No, I'm not going to take you into the toilets, but just to show you the entrance to them. Claire's on her way. And these are the very pretty loos with nice seating area outside, far nicer than on the shuttle. Hi, we're in the car park now next to Carrefour's at City Europe. We've done our shopping and we're just about to head off down to first top-up, which is at the Aire de la Baie de Somme, which is about another 65 miles, and the aim is to get there just about lunchtime. We'll be stopping there to charge and we'll be stopping there to have lunch. After that it's a fairly lengthy stretch to our next charger, so we need to get fully charged almost. So we'll see you when we're on our way. That's quite interesting that they've just spotted that it says we have to do 93 kilometers before we turn off, and that'll be at the Aire, and it's not calling me to keep left at every junction on the way as it does in UK. I don't know whether that's a UK mapping thing or what, but we are happily looking for 92 kilometers now on this road before we need to turn. And it's worked. It is nice to be in sunny France. We're on a contraflow at the moment with a 90 kilometer limit, but it's absolutely tipping down.
New exit on the right.
And we're just pulling into the Aire de la Baie de Somme, and according to Tesla, the Supercharger has 10 vacant bays. So let's see if we can find out where the bays are.
In 200 metres, your destination
And I can see
will
some
be
chargers over there. Last time we came, we had the MG4, and the Teslas weren't open to non-Teslas, so we were using the Ionities that were here.
Now your destination
And I can see
is
the
on
Teslas
left.
on the other side, directly opposite them. And not a Tesla in sight. So let's get down close to, but I don't want that tight turn coming out, so I'll take 5A. So this is where I say thank goodness for Tesla, because it's absolutely tipping down, and I'm going to have to do a dirty dive and plug in. And if it had been any other car, I'd have been standing in the rain trying to go contactless and set it up, or I'd be trying to work an app while I was standing in the rain. Whereas with Tesla, I'm going to just open the charge flap, and I'm doing it, and I'm about to do a dirty dive. And I'm back in, and into charge, and we are charging. So I've got wet, but I'm not drenched. And if you look at this, we're up to 66 kilowatts at the moment, 74, 85, 98, 107, 119, 130. And it seems to have stabilised around that 125. And it says 40 minutes to the full charge. But what I'm going to now do is go into the navigation and navigate to Hotel Kyriad Chartres. Kyriad Hotel Chartres, because that happens to be where the next set of Tesla chargers are. Now that's going to take me around Paris, which I don't want, so I'll edit the trip and I'll add Évreux and Évreux there, we'll add that, and I'll move that to above. So now it'll take me down to Rouen and down to Chartres. And we'll go down to Rouen, then down to Chartres. It also avoids toll roads. Done with that. And now, instead of 40 minutes to fill, it says I've got 25 minutes remaining until I've got enough to continue the trip. So what I'm going to do now is, because I'm kind and a gentleman, I'm going to jump out in the rain, rush round the back, open the boot and grab a brolly, because that's where I happen to have stacked them. And then I can go into the car with management, so into the services with Claire, and I'll be able to keep her dry. Well, we've just got our food and just sat down ready to eat. And the car says that it's ready now already to continue the trip. And in 15 minutes we're going to be fully charged.
No.
Well, that was a damp old run to go in there, but we had a nice meal. Claire had a slice of pizza. I had some quiche Lorraine, coffee. Claire had Diet Coke. It's now just coming up to past. The car was nagging us to hurry up and get a move on because, as you saw, we were ready to go. We are now ready to go, and the car is at 100%. So it's obviously been a little while that the car's been waiting for us, and we've not been waiting for the car to be ready. So we're on our way now, and next stop is going to be the Hotel Kyriad in Chartres, where there's a Tesla Supercharger in the car park. We're dropping down now towards Rouen. At the bottom of the hill, I believe, we go through into a tunnel which takes us underneath a big chunk of Rouen. And all slowing down. Yes, this is the height limits and the speed limits. And when we come out the other side, we'll be pretty well in the Rouen centre. And there is a crit air zone, a clean air zone in Rouen. But we registered with France for that, and I've got my Crit Air sticker in the bottom right hand corner of the windscreen, and that one sticker is valid for all clean air zones throughout the whole of France, and is valid for the life of the vehicle. So it only cost about £4.50 including postage. Well worth having, and so it saves a lot of grief now and potentially even more in the future. And this is the entrance to the main tunnel approaching Rouen. If you look at the map, you see the tunnel is where we are at the moment, and the car is following along where it thinks we're going to be. And when we come out of the other end, which is round that bend, then we'll pick up the satellite again, and hopefully it'll be in the right place. If it is, it shows how good the predictive sat-nav is, and if we're not, well, it'll show how bad it is.
2 kilometres, keep left to stay on M28, D6028 towards A13, A28.
And that wasn't a bad guess. Well, I must say it continues to be dank. The visibility ahead is not brilliant, but it's actually because of the spray being thrown up by all the lorries and cars on the motorway. If you look through my window this side, looking out at the trees, there's no longer any
In 2 kilometres,
mist or spray or fog or anything.
exit on the right towards Everett's, Orleans. Now take the A154 exit on the right.
At this point, we pull off and miss the route towards Paris and pick up the péage on the way south.
100 metres, take the A154 exit on the right.
We'll go for the 30 kilometre lane, which in theory, if you slow down to 30 kilometres, and I'm at 30 kilometres now, then it should open up before I can make it to the end.
Now take
Just
the
like that.
A154 exit on the right.
Now 5.5 kilometres from Chartres, and you can just see as you come through the bridge on the horizon the twin peaks of the cathedral spires sticking up. When we used to travel this journey, we would set off early hours of the Thursday morning instead of night stopping at Folkestone as we did on this journey. And when we night stopped for the first day, it would be here in Chartres, where we get to about 6:30, 6:45. It's now 3:30. So by getting the overnight at Folkestone, we've effectively saved about 3 hours on the journey. So instead of stopping at Chartres, then we're going to just refuel there and then carry on down to Bourges, and we'll be night stopping in Bourges. So this is our final refuel before we get to Bourges, and that's when I'll tell you about the cock-up that I made in the booking. And now you get a better view of
2 kilometres,
Chartres
turn
Cathedral.
left to stay on M154.
We'll be looping round to the right of the cathedral to start with, and then turning through the town centre. I'm not sure what the route is that SatNav takes us, but we may actually go close to the cathedral. We have done on the past when we've gone this way. Unlike UK, the towns don't have speed signs at the start and end of the 30-mile-an-hour section. If you have the name appears on a sign with a red surrounding, then that automatically means it's the start of a 50. And when you get to the end of the 50, you'll see the town name with, again, the red surround, but a red diagonal through it. And that indicates the end of the 50-kilometre zone. Very pretty round here. I've not been round this way before, but it is very pretty. This is the Hotel
Now
Kyriad,
turn right.
and this is where we'll be night stopping on the way coming back. But in the meantime,
Now you have arrived at your destination.
we have a few Tesla chargers there to choose from. These are all Type 3s, so there's no problem about getting together. 250 kilowatt maximum charging. Right, do you want to? get the charger, plug it in, connecting, and we're charging. And that's all there is to it. Let's go and have a look inside. Now we've only got 35 kilowatt charging. It should be much better than this. I'll give it a second or two, because occasionally I'm told this does happen with Tesla chargers. No, so what I'm going to do is move to a different charger and see if it'll go any faster. So I'll unplug, because instead of 35 we've now pushed up to 169 kilowatts. I like what it says that we're getting 1145 kilometers an hour added to our range. So I'm going to go into navigation, and I want to go to the Hotel Ibis Bourges, because that 35 minutes remaining is to until we actually need. Now we've got that 35 minutes was to get to fully charged. Now we've only got 10 minutes to have enough to continue our trip to the night stop. So we're going to stop now and have a dirty dive into the hotel, use the loos, and come back. We arrived here at 3:55 and we had 33%, and needing to get underway, I'd estimated 70%, but that was very conservative. It's now 16:08, so that's 13 minutes, and it says we have enough charge to continue the trip, 67%. So I'm going to unplug and we'll just get straight on our way. We're coming up to the next set of tolls. This roundabout ahead of us didn't used to be there. It's only been a couple of years that this roundabout has been here. And there were several accidents with cars coming out of the tolls and driving straight across this lane of traffic and being hit because they hadn't realised that they didn't have priority.
Roundabout and take the first exit.
So now they put the roundabout in, it makes life an awful lot easier and safer. And again, we've got telepeage, but these ones are not 30 kilometres.
Right to take a 10.
So normally what you have to do is drive up to them very slowly, and as you approach the barrier, that's when they open.
Now keep right to take a 10.
Well, this is much more like it. We're on the motorway, the Autoroute del Méridien. I always keep calling it the Autoroute Mediterranean, but it's actually Meridian because it follows roughly what was the old Paris Meridian before Greenwich Meridian took over as the prime meridian. So we're heading south pretty well, dead straight line, and we're now about just under half an hour from our hotel tonight, and we should get there with about 20%. toll booth coming up, and we'll go through the usual VAT.
In 200 metres, enter the roundabout.
And hopefully it'll let us out. And it does. So we don't want that one, we want that one across there.
Now enter the roundabout and take the third exit.
One, two,
In 200 metres, turn left
3.
onto Rue Joseph RSD Bourges.
and it says
Now turn left onto Rue Joseph RSD Bourges.
it's here. But I spy no Tesla Superchargers. There's the Ibis Hotel, the Ibis Styles.
Now your destination is on the left.
Tesla turning left, it says. And there they are. Oh, the whole stack of them. And one Tesla on charge. So we'll stay well away from him, because these are the shared ones. You can tell that because they've got two cables, which makes them the Type 2. And the Type 2 cable, each pair shares a single power unit. Maximum is 150 kilowatts between them, and if there's a second car on, then they will only get, or they could only get 75 each, which is not brilliant. The bump stops, so we'll wait till we get the bump stop there and park up. And I need that one. And we plug in, and it's gone blue for connection. And it's taking its time. Oh, this is interesting. They've not had. Ah, there we go. It's the longest I've had to wait for one to charge, but it's now charging. So we'll pop back in the car and set up where we're going to get to. It's jumped straight up to 137 because we're not sharing. And what would be nicer than to be able to just now unpack into the hotel and get all that kit sorted out while the car's charging. That's what I thought. So I booked the hotel in order to have the charger. Now that's fine until about 2 months ago, because I booked this back in February. 2 months ago I found out there are two Ibis hotels in Bourges. One of them's got the charger and one of them's the one I booked. So we're going to have to basically wait here to charge and then go off to a couple of miles to the hotel that I actually booked and not this one. Fortunately, it's hammering it in at 137 kilowatts, So there's loads of power going in. We've got to get to Tesla Clermont-Ferrand as my next one. So we arrived with 20%, and we arrived at 18:04, and it says 35 minutes remaining. However, that is to 100%. So what I need is to go into my navigation screen and do the supercharger Clermont-Ferrand, and now it says I only need 15 minutes of charging to be able to get there. So we've got to just sit here for a quarter of an hour, although what I'll probably do is go to the loo and then come back. So I'm going to say goodbye just for the minute while I go to the toilets inside, and I'll be back with you when I'm finished. Been to the loo, just back in the car. It says we've got 5 minutes remaining to continue the trip. We're going to move out first to the Ibis Bourges, the other Ibis Bourges, which is about a mile and a half away. And the very nice lady in here has given us some ice for our gin and tonic when we arrive there, because we're not sure that they have a bar, because it's the Ibis budget that I booked into, and we shall see how much that is. I'll see if they have a bar, and if so, we'll get more ice out of them. But the interesting thing about this is, as well as having these superchargers, they have Type 2s available at a fixed rate of €8 for the night for charging. So it means I could get a full charge from 11%, 10% when we arrive here, right up to 100% for just €8, and that can't be bad. Right. Just got ourselves sorted out, ready to go. It's now just coming up to 18:30, so we've been here 26 minutes. Used the loos, charged the car. It's up to 78%, which is enough to continue the journey to Clermont-Ferrand, which is our next supercharger. So I'm just going to stop the charging and it's all winding down, and then I'll unplug and we'll be on our way.